Jazz, Christopher Newport University. He's currently the instructor of trombone at the University of Richmond. At VCU, he directed the Afro-Latin Jazz Orchestra, taught applied jazz trombone lessons, and taught jazz improvisation, jazz arranging, and jazz theory and aural skills. Please give a warm welcome to our Ellington Band and Mr. Whitaker.
Look, thank you all for being here today. What an awesome band, and it's been such a great pleasure to work with these folks for just about 24 hours, I guess. they put together a really awesome set of music and are really performing at a high level, so it's a pleasure for me. That first tune was entitled Vine Street Rumble. It was from the Count Basie album called the Kansas City Suite from 1960. That's an album completely arranged by the multi-instrumentalist saxophonist Benny Carter. And we got to hear a lot of solos on that. So first you heard Louis Sturgeon on piano playing the Party Count Basie. You got to hear Persephone Yama and Nathan Robertson trading back and forth. And you got to hear just a little bit of one of our great drummers, Kira Witt, on the drums back. This next selection is from another suite from a different band, the Duke Ellington Orchestra. It's from the album entitled The Latin American Suite. And notably, this was the first album that Duke Ellington recorded, I believe, after Billy Strayhorn, his writing partner, musical sort of twin for many decades, passed away. So this was the first album that he really, and except for in his early days, really composed and arranged all himself. You'll notice the strange name Aklupaka, which typically in a lot of jazz tunes, if you see a name and don't know what the word is, you can try to spell it backwards, and that usually gives you a hint. So it's just Acapulco spelled backwards. And we're going to hear a lot of the good solos on this too, but I'll save that for after the two.
Okay.
a little bit on the guitar over there. Which is notable because Duke Ellington did not normally have a guitar player. So to get to hear guitar on a Duke Ellington chart is kind of a treat. We also heard from Louis Sturgeon again on piano, this time playing the part of Duke Ellington instead of Count Basie. A little bit, again, just little snippets of some nice, excellent drumming from our other drummer, Andreas Soper. And a great job filling in for Paul Gonzalez was Juniper Raincock on tenor saxophone. So yes, this next piece, we're going back to the Count Basie Orchestra. It's a tune entitled It's So So Nice, again from the sort of second testament of the Basie Orchestra. It's off an album called Basie Straight Ahead, which was released in 1968. And especially in the later years, Basie wasn't so much known for his arranging and composing other than his band leading, and he always managed to sort of maintain a certain style of writing, but he was always employing some of the greatest big band arrangers in history. So this album was actually all composed and arranged and conducted by Sammy Nestico, who has sort of laid the groundwork for, it's really sort of set the bar for big band arranging in the swing style for even up till today. So here we go, It's Oh So Nice. huge drum solos on the set, unfortunately, but you did get to hear Kira Wick leading the band on that one. Once again, as happens in a big band, we had another just sort of sprinkling in of some Count Basie solos there by Louis Sturgeon. On trombones, Dwight Lytle and Chris Gabriel Amoiti on lead alto and that solo. Sort of trading them out of the alto. So again, that was Count Basie's It's Oh So Nice. For this last piece, we're departing not too far from the Basie and Ellington tradition to the great composer Oliver Nelson. His most famous album, which came out right before he recorded this next number, it's called Blues and the Abstract Truth, which, you know, it's right up there with Miles Davis's Kind of Blue and any other classic jazz album you can think of that is just one of the most important works ever put out for this style of music. So this next number was his first album as a leader for big band writing. It came off an album called Afro-American Sketches in 1962. And we're going to hear a ton of soloists on this one. So I think I will just go ahead. You'll see them as they start up, but I'm going to go ahead and announce the whole band before we play this last number and then make room for the Count Basie Chesterfield County Band. So on trumpets, we got Graceland, Michael, Josh, James, Cooper, and Mason. Trombones / low brass. We have, you'll see Stevens just pulled out his tuba. We have Stephen, Paul, Chris, Aaron, Dwight, and Alder. Saxon, I think I wrote these in order. We have Logan, Persephone, Nathan, Juniper, Gabriel, Ian, Dylan, and William. And in the rhythm section, we have Landon and Chris on guitars. Max and Mason on bass. Andreas and Kira on the drums. And once again, Lua on piano. So before we play this last number, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for inviting me. It's an honor to be here and work with these students. Thank you to all these students, which are just incredible musicians, and you know, it's really a challenging set of music to work up in, you know, essentially like a day's worth of rehearsing. I just met them all yesterday. So thank you to all of you for being here and for keeping this music alive. Thank you to all the band directors that work with these students, private lesson teachers, you know, whoever has sort of led them on their musical journey that they are continuing upon. You play an extremely vital role, not only for them as musicians, but in their lives. And of course, without the families, none of them would be here. So thank you to the parents, thank you to caretakers and grandparents and aunts and uncles and whoever is taking care of these fine individuals. You know, thank you all. And you know, obviously would not be possible without you. I know for my own parents, it's difficult raising a musician sometimes. So thank you, and I'm just super proud of all these folks. So here we are with our last tune, Emancipation Blues by Oliver Nelson.
20 more minutes. Thank you all for being here.